The WWE has a lot of things that they want us to forget. Mostly it involves CM Punk, or Chris Benoit, or even Hulk Hogan. But in this case, we're talking about the Bella Twins, especially since Total Divas is in our faces in January. But here are 5 things the WWE wants you to forget about Brie and Nikki Bella. At number 5, if you think those two were jealous of Eva Marie getting a big push, then they shouldn't be, because at number 5, the Bella Twins were signed by WWE in June 2007, and yet they were sent to developmental at that point, but they took part in the 2006 WWE Diva Search, but quite frankly they didn't make it. That's actually surprising that they didn't make the cut, since they've been having a major push for almost a decade. It's interesting though, they didn't want the job at first due to the fact they were trying to get modeling and acting jobs for years. They even had an appearance on ABC called Meet My Folks, and soon after they went to a WWE Diva casting call. They were offered jobs there, but they turned them down. The reason for them turning the jobs down was that they didn't want to relocate to Florida, where the WWE developmental was, in Tampa at the time. WWE called them again, and it was their mother that met with WWE. Admittedly, she did not know much about the wrestling business, as she told the Arizona Republic. Well done, Nikki and Brie Bella, for making yourselves look like such champions on Total Divas when Eva Marie was getting a push. It's very funny how when you guys didn't even want the job, now you guys say you are wrestlers. Congrats, Total Divas, you manipulative. I'll still watch it. At number 4, they kept Maria from returning to the WWE. If you think I'm lying about this one, Maria Canella, let's just call her Maria, was a successful WWE diva in the late 2000s, but she was released in 2010. She was rumored to come back in 2013, but she didn't. And you want to know why? Drumroll, please. Yeah, I have to do my own drum rolls. It's because of the Bellis twins, and this is how the story goes. Nikki was dating Dolph Ziggler at the time, and she felt like Maria was getting too friendly with Dolph. And if you think I'm lying, Maria explained it to WrestlingInc.com in 2013. She stated, and I quote, "It was a very, very random for me and Dolph. We were close friends. We have been for a long time before the twins ever arrived. And one time I was dancing with Dolph at a party we were at a green iguana place or something. So we were all hanging out, having fun and dancing. I was dancing with him, I was dancing with the girls, I was dancing with other people that were there. So all of a sudden, when I'm dancing with Dolph, I get tapped on the shoulder, and it's Nikki Bella going on about, what are you doing? And I just said, dancing with my friend. And she was like, oh, he's with me. And I said, okay, sure. I never heard that from anybody. I didn't know that I was doing something so wrong dancing with friends. But ever since then, it's been very strange between us, but still, I would do business. It's pretty ironic that happened, even though this was around 2009 or so when Nikki was dating Dolph. Apparently Nikki didn't forget it, and Nikki was to blame for Maria not getting a job back. Basically, Maria seemed to be upset about it and said, as much as when she talked about Nikki contacting her, she said, and I quote, "They called me, I was busy. I sent her a text back. I said there's nothing really to talk about. I know what the story is. God bless you for it. I hope everything works out. There's no real reason to talk to her about something that doesn't have a story to it. She's not worth my time. She took something from me, and it wasn't a man, or it wasn't a piece of candy. It was a contract. It's my career. I think for me, that's probably the worst thing you can do, is mess with my money. I'm not going anywhere. I'm in wrestling, I'm staying in wrestling, and I'm sure our paths will cross again. And you guys wonder why Dolph Ziggler is jobbing all the time. Maybe it's because Nikki is dating John Cena! 3. Their promos on Raw. September 1st, 2014 edition of Raw featured some of the worst acting and segments in Raw's history ever. This was after Nikki turned heel on Brie at SummerSlam. The skits were so bad, it was basically Nikki talking in a monotone voice while telling these obviously made up stories with some creepy piano in the background. I don't even want to talk about their promos on Raw. It was just terrible. Moving on. And number 2, Nikki's I Wish You Died in the Moon while sharing a Twitter account. Yep, that's right. The Bella Twins had an awful feud. When I say awful, I mean this was awful. Awful as John Cena beating the Nexus all by himself. Awful as Hornswoggle being the illegitimate son of Vincent K. McMahon. Awful to the point that awful is just not the word to describe it. It was bad. So bad that the level of acting was so terrible that it made fans embarrassed to watch the show. It was even worse when it made me cringe, as well as others cringe, when one of the worst lines delivered was Nikki said to Brie, and I quote, "I wish you died in the wound." Somebody wrote the line and thought it was great, and somehow it went to our TV channels. It got even worse when they both were feuding, yet still shared the same Twitter account. They shared the same Twitter account. Really? Huh? And number 1, no explanation for heel and face turns. Yep. Brie had the biggest match of her life at SummerSlam 2014 when she was up against Stephanie McMahon. But these sisters had feuds for several months leading to a match at Hell in a Cell in October 2014. The stipulation was that the loser had to be the winner's personal assistant for 30 days. Brie hated it. They pushed the story that once the 30 days was up, Brie was going to kick her ass in a blow-off match. That never happened. Instead, another match to end the feud with Brie getting the revenge. Brie kissed AJ Lee on the lips at Survivor Series, and Nikki won the Divas title from AJ in a match that was only 35 seconds. 35 seconds. Whoop whoop. That's worse than them having their WrestleMania 29 match cancelled. And the worst part is that the twins turned face again with no explanation given. They are just basically baby faces now, to the point that now Nikki is a heel. It's become one of those where it's heel, face, heel, face. Big Show. Heel, face, heel, face, heel. To be quite honest, are they baby faces or heels? Because at this moment in time, I don't even know what's going on with the Divas Revolution. Guys, if you liked this and enjoyed this, stay tuned for more on the Heel Turn project. I can't wait for the new Divas Revolution that's happening on NXT called Women's Wrestling.